Tarnished Judas, the fourth character of the Epiphany mod, comes with a very unique mechanic that allows him to control and fight with his trusty shadow clones. He starts with 3 shadows that will mimic his movements and shoot tiers in the same direction as the original. You can control them by holding Ctrl or Shift while shooting. The shadows as well as the main body will always build a circular formation. You can grow or shrink it, and you can also rotate it around Tarnished Judas. The shadows do not have a hurt box, so you don't have to worry about them getting damaged. You can hold them close for focus DPS or spread them out to cover a bigger area. To balance out the addition of the shadows, Tarnished Judas has a built-in times 0.8 damage multiplier by default. This negative multiplier applies at the very end of the damage formula. It even affects flat damage ups like the plus 40 of Epiphany. Tarnished Judas also has the drawback of always taking a full heart of damage in the entire run and not just starting in chapter 4. This makes his early game way more dangerous. But it is worth to note that Tarnished Judas is a red heart character, contrary to his tainted self. He's not limited to just black hearts, but has all types at his disposal. The full heart damage drawback makes the wafer item very worthwhile for him, as it is useful on all floors in his run and not just the endgame floors from Womb 1 onwards. It is also very important to note that the full heart damage system does not affect any donation mechanics. Blood donation machines, devil beggars, hell games and curse room doors will all just take the regular half heart away from him, like they would on any normal character. But let's talk about his main gimmick now, the shadows. Hold down the Ctrl or Shift button while shooting to send them out or call them back, depending on the direction you shoot it. You can also freely rotate the circle around the main body, and its size is only limited by that of the room. But you might wonder why you would even send them out, right? This is where we look at the damage of the shadows. It actually scales with the radius of the circle. The closer they are to Tarnished Judas, the less damage they deal. If you keep the shadows inside of the main body, each of them will only deal about 5% of your damage. This means you will deal less overall damage than base stats Isaac. If you extend the radius of your shadow formation, the damage of them will increase, up to a maximum of 100% of your damage at a rather high range away from Tarnished Judas. You basically always have to decide how big you want the formation based on the situation and enemy. A large circle is effective against big enemies or huge groups of foes. You can also get above average damage with just one shadow if you line it up with the max range of your main body, like I do here. You just have to find your style. Tarnished Judas also comes with his own new pocket active item called Descent that relies on your shadows being around. Activating it will cause the opposing shadows to switch places with each other while creating a black line of shadow particles on the way between them. The particles will rapidly damage each enemy that was unfortunate enough to stand in the way. Judas's particles deal 25% and the Shadow's particles deal 5% of your tier damage per tick. This means that the particles get stronger with your damage increases, and they will actually even inherit most of your tier effects and abilities. But dealing damage is not the only benefit of the item. Activating it will grant a very brief moment of invulnerability that can be utilized to go in and out of curse rooms for free. You can also use the teleport to reach usually unobtainable goods behind obstacles or pits in the ground, granting lots of extra value in each run. Holding the car battery item causes Descent to activate twice. This increases the damage, but you lose the teleport utility, since Tarnished Judas always stays at the initial spot. You will not even be able to quickly grab pickups with Descent anymore. You have to decide if the increased damage is worth losing the extra movement utility. Tarnished Judas also starts with the duality item, which opens both devil and angel rooms if you get one of them. This is actually very important for the gimmick of the character. As you can see here, Tarnished Judas doesn't pay for his devil deals with his heart containers, but he will instead get 2 broken hearts for each devil item he grabs. And this is where the mod introduces the way to get more shadows. Gaining 4 broken hearts will transform Tarnished Judas to his next stage, which will summon 2 new ones. You basically get free devil deals as well as new shadows for the cost of losing heart slots, which can be very dangerous due to the full heart damage gimmick on earlier floors. Reaching 8 broken hearts from 4 devil deals will transform Tarnished Judas again to his final form, which will add 2 more shadows to the circle for a total of 7. Having a total of 8 bodies will obviously greatly increase both your damage output as well as the covered area, especially that of the descent item. Going for devil deals is a really good strategy to turn the character into the ultimate glass cannon, and it is also a lot of fun to play around with the shadow army. And in case you were wondering, this is the limit. As soon as you've reached 8 broken hearts, devil deals will start to cost heart containers for Tarnished Judas, just like usual. But that doesn't explain why he starts with the duality item yet. Getting angel deals will remove one of your broken hearts, always allowing you to transform back if you want to. Tarnished Judas will only lose shadows if he falls below 8 or below 4 broken hearts. It might be a good strategy to try and hold exactly one of those 2 numbers. For example, getting an angel item after getting 2 devil items will drop you from 4 to 3 broken hearts, losing the first transformation and 2 shadows without gaining any benefits. Tarnished Judas's Birthright is another way to gain more shadows, even without broken hearts, but it will still encourage you to transform for even greater value. It will add 1 shadow to his base form, 2 shadows to the middle form and 3 shadows to the final form, making it better the more risky you want to play the character. The shadows of Tarnished Judas will copy nearly all tier effect and tier replacement effect items in the game. The next 2 minutes of the video will show the usual fan favorite synergies. The marked item is a very powerful tool for Tarnished Judas, as it allows you to have all shadows shoot at the same spot and hit with all of them while your circle is big. This is a huge increase in damage and a lot of fun to utilize, especially if combined with certain other items like Mom's Knife or Brimstone. However, there are limits to what the shadows can do. They will only mimic your tier effects, but not any active items or other items that affect just the character itself. The reason for this is quite simple. The shadows are actually not coded as player entities, but as Incubus familiars in disguise. But this also opens up many other possibilities. The shadows are affected by familiar modifiers like BFFs, Baby Bender, Forgotten Lullaby and Extension Cord, which are all very good for Tarnished Judas for that reason alone. This was all I wanted to show you about Tarnished Judas. What do you think about the character? Do you like the gimmick? Let me know down in the comments and have fun when you try him.
He's the number one,
Isaac!
God's favorite son. His flowing robes reach down from heaven.